This painting is for you if you are sad or anxious, or if you are processing some sort of grief, personal or collective. Yeah. Especially if you're anxious, I would encourage you to get your own paint and a piece of paper or a canvas or anything really. An old t-shirt, a piece of wood, wall, something, and paint. And I'd encourage you to use your own hands. Don't paint with paintbrushes. Use your paint. Like, touch the paint. Have that experience. And if you don't have paint, you can use melted chocolate or coffee, or you can mix flour and water. You can add some food coloring inside. Yeah. I'd encourage you to do that. I have some new paint here. And it's such a sleek and nice, it's nice to hold those tubes. I'm really excited to paint with them. And I found also this. Look at that. See it? And I wanted to put paint inside and then take it from there. But I'm a little bit afraid that I'm just going to destroy it forever if I don't wash it immediately, if this painting takes too long. White? Oh, feels different than the blue. I'm going to trust that this finds you in the right time. I wanted to say I hope it finds you in the right time, but I'm going to trust it finds you in the right time. I think you're going to benefit from this the most when you are right there with me and when I'm right there with you. If you want to feel good in terms of let's share happiness together, there are plenty of other videos you can watch. Where do I start? Always when I don't know where to start, I always like to blow my hands. Because it's water. And water is good for your system. It just kind of resets your energy. My day didn't go as planned. I was actually I was inspired to come here. I was inspired to bring some other energy than this into this painting. And I took my time to come to terms with it, to prepare myself. And so I woke up this morning and the sun was shining and it was really nice outside, and I had my cup of tea and I talked to myself and my spirits, and I went outside I wanted to say for a walk, but it wasn't a walk, I went skating. And I had 1 hour to skate, which was really beautiful because it's sun outside and I haven't seen the sun since like August last year, so I'm really excited about it. And There's a park nearby that has this kind of like a round thing where you can just go skating round and round. And I really enjoyed it because it was like a spring in the air, people looking good, people having dogs, people having bicycles, and it's just nice to be outside and breathe fresh air and be on the sun. And so 30 minutes, 45 minutes into skating, I was really into it, and I felt really good. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came this feeling of grief. It just kind of like a cloud, like showed up right above me and started raining. And it washed down my body, and I felt the deep sadness deep in my body. I lost all the energy for skating, for feeling good, for appreciating the sun, for anything. I just felt that deep, deep grief. It wasn't just like oh, I feel sad a little bit. It was very deep. It kind of just erased me from the inside. I felt silent. There was no inspiration anymore to do anything. I have plenty of things to do all the time, but today I couldn't. I sat down on the floor and I was just sitting and feeling it for half an hour. And of course I tried to figure it out. Where does it come from? Why do I feel this way? It came kind of out of nowhere. And I do have plenty of reasons. I mean, not plenty, but I do have quite a few reasons to be unhappy. And I looked into them and I saw that, yeah, some things could be better. I could be happier, I could be more satisfied, and there are plenty of other things that could be different than they are, in terms of better than they are. And some of them are my responsibility. I could have or should have showed up differently, and maybe I disappointed myself because I didn't. But then there are also things to realize things that made me realize that some things are out of my control, and I can only do as much as I can and show up in a way that I can, in a way that I did. And it's up to me to realize when is it time to stop allowing those things to just grab my energy as they wish, and accept them. Accept that there are things that you cannot control. But then I also realized, like, yeah, okay, all those things, they do kind of fit into this kind of cloud of sadness, let's call it, or grief, or whatever. Yeah, it all kind of fits, but come on. It's not that. There's something else. So I asked myself, like, did I ever feel like this any time in the past? And the answer is, of course, yes, many times. But is it the past? No. It felt kind of bleak. It felt kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is some sadness that I had no time to be sad about. Like, yeah, sure, I'll be sad now, no worries. Because, sometimes it happens, like your body resurfaces something that you didn't have time for before. Because maybe before, at some other times, when something happened that actually caused you to feel grief or loss or sadness or depression or anxiety or fear or uncertainty or something, you didn't have time to process it. And now I had plenty of environments and circumstances and jobs and circles of people where you can't be sad. It's just not a thing. Like, people are just gonna come and be like, come on, don't be sad. Or you will simply have no time. It will be not in your job description to process your emotion in a healthy way. So you just kind of put it in a pocket and just pretend that it isn't there. Kind of save it for later. And then if you ever have time to experience it again, then it comes up. In the last painting, I've been picking up on this energy of looking into your behavior and reading out of it what kind of habits, behaviors, body postures, ways of doing things you can let go of, especially if it's some sort of like an emotional crutch that comes from times before. And usually when you let go of these things, especially if you've been holding on to them for years, they can bring a lot of unpleasantness, even if you don't fully let go of them, but just kind of put them out of space a little bit, just to challenge yourself to feel something different, to embody yourself in a different way, to carry your body in a different way. It does bring some unpleasantness to the surface. Or if you suddenly decide to meditate every day and you spend 1 hour in meditation, it's kind of like you're signaling to your body that you're making time and space to look at the content of it. And then it gives you something to look at. Because it trusts you that you now have skills and abilities and capacity to look at it and handle it in a more sophisticated manner than just pretending it isn't there, numbing it, or distracting yourself, or looking elsewhere and not exactly where you should be looking. But then I also ask myself, could it be that I'm picking up on something collective? Something that isn't necessarily mine? And as I asked myself this in the afternoon today, that actually felt the most true in my body. My body softened. And it just felt like, yep, there's something going on in the collective that I'm picking up on. To be honest, it felt way much more than just some sadness from 9 months ago, or sadness from 5 years ago, or loss from 5 years ago or something. It felt way much more heavier. When I'm using the word sadness, it doesn't really fully cover how I felt. I think grief is the best word for it. It felt heavy, it felt deep, it felt internally silent. It felt not something that would just make you easily cry. And so I kept being on the floor. I spent the entire afternoon lying on the floor, silent. I couldn't shake the feeling off, and I didn't even want to. If you don't know, there's a practice in Qigong where you can release unwanted or negative energy from your body simply by shaking it. Like you can shake your hands, you can shake your whole body. You can spend 3 to 5 minutes just bouncing off of your heels and shake your body, and you will feel better for sure. But I didn't want to. Because in that moment, in those moments, better said, because it lasted pretty much most of the day, the best thing that I could have done for myself was just feel it. Feeling that grief was the best feeling that I found. I didn't want to make myself feel better. I didn't want to figure it out. I didn't want to distract myself. And I did try to figure it out, obviously. But at some point I realized that trying to figure it out, it felt like trying to get ingredients out of a soup that is already cooked and warm and ready to eat, instead of just eating it while it's warm. You know, in these moments I always remember, I think I mentioned it in some other painting already, the film, you know which film I'm going to say now. Call Me by Her Name. When the father says to Elia that when he feels the way he feels, heartbroken, you should honor that feeling and allow it to be, because at some point you will not feel this way anymore. Life will go on and you will find yourself in the mundane sooner or later. So while you have a moment to feel the heartbreak and feel the disappointment and feel the grief and sadness and everything uncomfortable inside of your body, cherish it. Indulge in it. Feel it. Make space for it. Cancel your plans. Don't go to work. Don't go to school. Just feel it. Lie down on the floor and feel it. It seemed to me to be one of those scenarios where something massive is happening on the planet. Something happens somewhere that is powerful enough to cause a ripple effect, like a shock effect that kind of goes like a wave, like a tsunami or like an earthquake. It just kind of spreads around from the center. And it affects everybody, whether you're aware of it or not. You might be living in your own bubble, but something happens somewhere else and it affects you, especially if you're sensitive to energies. And especially if you don't know what's going on the planet, then you might interpret it in all possible personal ways. You might look into your reality and blame people in your reality, blame yourself, and go through all possible narratives of what happened, why it happened, why are you feeling this way, and create the whole scenarios that actually, in like the grand scheme of things, may have absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just that you're feeling what the collective is feeling, you're feeling what the world is feeling. It's not your energy. You're processing it on the behalf of the whole world because you're here. the other side, it might be that something is happening out there on the planet and you're looking at it and you're blaming them. Or you're blaming something, somebody. We have so many people to blame out there on the planet. Some of them are ridiculous as fuck. But in actuality, what you're looking at on the outside is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So it's up to you to feel it and see what in your personal world is a little bit disturbed. I feel like in general there are two types of us on the planet. Those of us who have sorted ourselves internally somehow enough that we can now sort the world out. And those of us who have not sorted ourselves internally at all, and we're looking at the world outside and we're expecting that the world will sort itself out so that we can feel better. But I'm also sensing that it's not even about like, are we in the categories of some sort? I sense that on the collective and on individual level, both is true. And we kind of have to have capacity to hold space for both, not just for one. Not just for us individually, but also for the world. And not just for the world, but also for us individually. It's like, yeah. But not just that, but also for the outside of what is actually known to you. Like there might be also some factors included that might have absolutely nothing to do with anything that you're aware of. There might be something going on in your environment you have absolutely no idea about, and leave some space that might be the reason as well. In other words, that there is something that you can't see, you can't explain, and make peace with that. That there are the things that you just don't know. How can you hold space for the things that you don't know? Can you hold space for yourself? What I mean by that is to allow yourself to feel how you feel without trying to fix it or change it or blame it or catastrophize it or explain it or justify it or make stories about it or understand it. I mean, you may have some, my legs are asleep. Oh, both of them. You may have some reasons why you feel the way you feel, and those reasons might be fully justified, legit. No one should be saying anything about it. It's your reasons. And you might be in exactly that space where you need to share your reasons. And you need to have your reasons, and not just reasons, but also your feelings and your state witnessed and justified and held by somebody else that is not just you. That might be exactly what you need. This is a free space. Feel free to express yourself in the comment section if you feel like you want to. But you might as well just need to feel. Just feel. Just lie on the floor and feel. And hold space for yourself, by yourself. And build that container within yourself where you can allow yourself to feel safe, feeling whatever comes to your awareness. Without shame or blame or guilt or timing. Like I said to myself today, like when I was checking, am I feeling something from the past? My immediate response was like, oh, no, yeah, it could be, but I've dealt with it so many times already. It's like, no. It's like I was putting like a timing on myself, like, okay, I already spent considerable amount of time feeling this. I don't want it anymore. I should have been done with this already, so it must be something else. But it doesn't must be. It might be. It might be a mix of everything. Here's something that comes to my mind as something to say, but I feel like it's so obvious that I'm feeling a little bit resistant to say, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because maybe you never heard it. I'd be surprised if you haven't, but healing is not linear. And it's so difficult to feel. Like, it's so difficult to feel. So if you're having a hard time just sitting on the floor doing nothing and just feeling without making it mean anything, without writing books of meanings, without calling all your friends and talking about what you're feeling, without blaming anything, that's difficult. That's so difficult. So if you're doing this, I encourage you to keep doing this. I see this as a strength. And I genuinely think that some of the wars of this planet, especially the most recent one, would be unnecessary if people would just know how to feel. Deeply. If people would be educated about what to do with your emotions, what to do with your feelings, what to do when suddenly, like, your day completely goes out of the train tracks because of the feeling you have. Did you ever receive any kind of education about it? I've seen people making fun of feelings in the world. Just horrible. I honestly don't know when the camera stopped recording, so So I don't know. I just know that this combination of red, blue and white here in this corner is a little bit too dark and too contrasting and too something. I'm gonna make it a little bit more balanced, I guess. The whole day I was just, if I wanted to do anything, I wanted to touch the paint, especially because it's new and I didn't work with it before. But I had no energy to do it. I had to spend my whole afternoon lying on the floor and just feeling my body and feeling like I can feel my muscles really deeply and feel the lack of energy inside of them. I was getting some sort of like an X-ray vision into my muscles and seeing how, not like physically exhausted I am, but energetically exhausted. But not as like exhausted, not like tired, exhausted, but deeply sad, I felt. And usually when I feel especially anxious, or helpless, hopeless. What else was there? Depressed. Let's use this beautiful internet word, shall we? Unbalanced. I am touching paint is something that brings me back into right here, right now. And it makes it all make sense. So if you actually picked up some paint, any paint, whatever paint you have, and if you've actually painted, I'm proud of you. Really. Especially if this is something that you normally never do. That was a lot, much more than I thought. Interesting how much I care about this painting. Sometimes I just finish and then I'm done, but this one I feel like I could tweak so many little elements in here. I'm gonna take a photo and leave it to the end of the video so you can look at it by yourself. I wish there's a way of YouTube letting you post photos into the comments. So if you have painted that I can actually see it. That would be really cool. Do I feel better after completing this painting? Kind of, yeah. I hope you feel better as well. I think this feeling better thing should be exchanged, replaced with I hope you're feeling more. And when you feel enough, then it passes, just by itself. I wouldn't be doing this painting unless I actually came to the point of, okay, I've had enough, I have energy so I can do it. And I did it. I'm glad that I did. I hope it helped you. I hope it accompanied you wherever you are right now. If it didn't, please feel free to express yourself in the comment section. And let me know by liking the video and subscribing if you haven't yet. I appreciate your support and I thank you for being here. Ciao.